Welcome to the HR Happy Hour Work Break. You are here with Trish and Steve. Hey, Steve Bose.
Hey, Trish, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well.
You're well.
Here's
You
my
know what?
question. Go
Oh,
ahead.
yes. What's your question? No,
Is the
you go ahead.
work year over today? Is it over? I've seen a
Well,
lot of
today,
people posting on LinkedIn today.
that's it.
Hey, great year, everybody. See you in 2022. Checking out. Maybe
It's
because
today, the 17th.
next week is the run up to Christmas. Maybe your Christmas is your thing. I don't know. But so it'll probably wind. Then the weekend between Christmas and New Year's is usually pretty quiet for most kind of, professional types of jobs, right? And
Right.
so I don't know. I think people might be checking out extra early this year. That's my
Extra early.
theory. Yeah.
If
What
they
do you
are,
think?
someone needs to tell me because I'm scheduled to work next week, most of the week. So
Hmm.
I don't know.
That
Horrible
seems
company.
awful.
Horrible
You gotta,
company.
you gotta talk to your coworkers.
I should talk to them. Steve, can I have off next week?
Yeah. Shut it down.
You know what? That's what you should do. If you wanna take off for the holiday, you should like get your boss like in a situation like this, right? And that way you can kind of put him on the spot with thousands of people watching. So
All right.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Hey,
do
you
that.
know what, Steve? Take some time off next week.
Thank you.
No, listen, hey, speaking of next week, I planned on working, but I may have to take a day off. Do you want to know why? It's ridiculous.
Um,
It's a ridiculous reason. And I know that you've encountered this before.
you're going to finish that sleeve tattoo finally?
How'd you guess?
I
Yes.
knew it.
No. Okay. So today I realized that on my flight status, I am 1,500 miles short to achieve status for all of next year. So I am now going to have to be one of those people who's
You're
like,
doing a mileage run? Wow.
yes, I'm going to have to do a mileage run before the end of the year. And like once Christmas comes till the end, it's not going to work. So I literally, and I've been traveling on business, as you know, and so I really haven't prepared for Christmas. And so now I'm kind of in a dilemma. So it's like right now it's looking like I might need to fly to Miami for a day. It has to be far enough away.
May I ask what airline we're talking about here?
This is on Frontier.
Okay. All right.
So if you
Why I bring it up is like Delta, for example, which is my preferred airline and America's #1 airline. In fact, probably the finest airline in the world. Shout out Delta. Delta has grandfathered status due to COVID for the last 2 years now. So I was top status of Delta, in 19.
Right.
Right. And I achieved it probably for a couple years before that as well. And they grandfathered it into 20, into 21, and into 2022.
I need to look on American because see, I have status on American, but the problem is that to come to Colorado, really the only two flights from St. Louis. St. Louis is so small that the only two direct flights are on Frontier or on Southwest, and I hate Southwest. I like
Too bad you can't wait till next June and take that flight to Frankfurt, Germany on Lufthansa. I guess that's not your airline, but
that's not my
well,
airline.
all right.
Anyway.
So maybe we'll
So, yeah.
beam in from Miami next week. Then there you go.
Yeah, if I happen to be in Miami, everyone can know it's just because I had to take a quick, trip
Don't
somewhere.
make excuses. You want to go hang out on the beach? You're entitled. Do it.
I don't want to do it. I need to be getting ready for the holidays. This is a whole
Okay.
let's please come on, airlines, like don't make people or let me buy, like why do I have to physically fly it? Can't I just buy it? Let me just buy the ticket.
I years ago I did a mileage run.
I remember you did somewhere, right?
I flew from like Rochester, New York to Albany, New York. It was the shortest flight I could find. Because I needed segments. It wasn't the miles. So I needed two because you could qualify by segments or by miles, right? Whatever. I was US Air at the time. Now it's no longer a thing. But I flew and the plane was so small. You know how like some of these little commuter planes are just 2 and 2 or maybe even 2 and 1, right? I've been on plane. This plane was 1 and 1. Right. That's how small it was.
Oh my
In fact, and there was no flight attendant. It was just the pilot. So when you got on the plane, the pilot stood up and said, okay, everybody, here, if you've never been in an automobile in the last 50 years, just buckle your seatbelt. That's the door. There's one in the back. Everybody good? Okay, we're good. I'm going to get in, close the door, and we're going. And
Really?
that's how that flight worked. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Oh my
Tiny little plane.
gosh.
But
Okay, that's crazy.
all right. Well, good luck with that, Trish. Good story. Yeah.
Thanks.
So I have a couple things real quick. We've missed out. Remember the other day I talked about the Miller High Life gingerbread
The
house kit
gingerbread, right.
we missed on and can only now get for like several $1,000s on eBay.
Yes.
We missed out on a couple other things. At least I know I did. Maybe Trish, you jumped on these things. I got to get online a little bit more. We missed out yesterday on Lay's potato vodka. You know, like the potato chip brand.
Cool.
Limited edition Lay's potato vodka sold out in a matter of hours. We also missed out on Oreo wine. They partnered with the Barefoot Wine Company and made a Finn's Red Blend wine earlier this year. I didn't get that. And finally, Trish, Arby's Curly Fry Vodka and Arby's Crinkle Fry Vodka also sold out. Didn't get any of those.
Arby's Crinkle Cut and Curly, gross.
Arby's vodka, you're not going for that?
No Arby's vodka.
All right. Well, if anybody got any of those things, let me know. I might be interested in acquiring one or all of them.
They do have good chicken tenders, but thank God they didn't put that in a wine. Wouldn't that be gross?
I haven't been in an Arby's in a really, really long time.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you can go on eBay and buy some of that.
I went on eBay to see if the Lay's vodka was available, and it was not. But
really?
It might be only because it was just sold yesterday. So I think even if you bought it yesterday, you probably don't actually have it in your possession yet to resell it. But
people are just going to hang on to it and drink it themselves. They're so excited about it.
Yeah. Do you remember a couple weeks back or maybe a month ago, I talked about the strategic oil reserve? We were talking about that, like what other things would be good to have a strategic reserve of, right?
Strategic reserve of, that's right.
We were kind of making a joke about it. Well, Trish, I came to learn that our friends, our neighbors to the north, Canada, Trish, have a strategic maple syrup reserve. This is actually a real thing, a strategic maple syrup reserve, and they've tapped into it. They've tapped into their emergency reserve of maple syrup because, like everything else in the era of the pandemic, there have been maple syrup shortages. Sales are way up, much like lots of other things, cream cheese we talked about. Maple syrup sales are up 37%. Trish, and I did not know this.
Why?
I don't know. Everybody's at home making pancakes for 2 years. Quebec produces 72% of the world's global maple syrup output. 133 million pounds annually of maple syrup. And I did know this, and there was also some problems with the weather, I guess, which kind of kept the production down. Yeah. I actually tried to tap maple trees to make maple syrup in this place I used to have.
Did you really?
Yeah, and I got some. I didn't get enough to make it work. It's really hard, but the whole deal with it is you have that little bit of window of the time of year. It's usually in the spring, where the temperature needs to be above freezing in the daytime, but it needs to go below freezing at nighttime. I don't know why. It's chemistry or biology, or it's not biology really. It's a tree. Botany. I don't know what the reason is, but that's when you tap the maple trees. It's in that little period of time when the weather conditions are like that. So for Quebec and a place like that, that's probably March-ish, I would guess. Is that probably time of year? And March, April, maybe even. But I guess if you don't get enough days where the temperature is right, the raw sap that you tap from the maple trees, you don't get enough of it, I guess, or something like that. So how about that? Strategic Global Maple Syrup Reserve.
Wow.
Canada.
It doesn't surprise me they have that, right? It is such a major product that they export. So you would think they'd have a stockpile somewhere.
Makes me think we should have had a strategic cream cheese reserve. Right? Which we didn't.
But like many things, who would have thought we'd be going into the third year of a pandemic soon and in need of cream cheese and maple syrup. So.
I'm going to tell you what, it feels like 2020 all over again, doesn't it? I was just, before we got online here, I was just reading an article about Premier League soccer, which I'm a fan of. As many as 9 matches have been canceled in the last week and a half or so due to COVID, because guys are players and coaches and team staff, et cetera, et cetera. I haven't talked to anybody in the UK in a long time, but I guess it's really awful there right now again. And maybe it's going to be here too. I don't know. There's been quite a few, it's been some NBA games canceled. There's been some hockey games canceled, and we'll see.
Well, and you know what? On the NBA games too, I mean, we're talking about vaccinated players. So these are not, for the most part, these are people.
Yeah, I think the NBA is something like 90.
It's not that they're being, You know,
no,
they're not.
and it's really not. It's really not. And I guess this is maybe a story for another day. We'll have to talk about, or people will have to talk about, and organization societies will have to talk about is like these people aren't getting really sick either. They're just they're testing positive, or they've been in close contact with someone who tested positive. Right. And they're, as you said, the players in these leagues, certainly the NBA, is something like 95, 96% vaccinated. So effectively, they're all vaccinated. So when do we come to a point as a society when we say, well, you know what? Okay, if you're not feeling sick, and you know,
it's hard to know. It's hard to know.
We're going to go ahead and go
hear that, like the St. Louis area, for example, they're starting to say that when the kids come back from Christmas break, a lot of the school districts are going to say there is no mask mandate. You can choose to wear one, but you don't have to. And then in some of the counties I know in St. Louis are saying it is illegal to force someone to wear a mask. So I think we're going to see this next year ahead should be a time where there's going to be a lot more pushing back, because if you're vaccinated and you're going to be able to get it anyway, I think people are going to be rethinking a lot of the approach to it. So
can I do one more thing real quick before I forget, and then we'll get out of here?
Oh, yep. Let's do one more, and then we're going to. I
want to kind of put somebody on blast here a little bit. Trish, be on the lookout next. That's not you. Be on the lookout, Trish, and everybody watching this next year for something called online called the 10 most. And the grammar in this is awful, but I'm going to read it exactly how I saw it. The 10 most HR tech influencers to follow in 2022. From something called CIOviews.com. Be on the lookout for this list, Trish.
Oh, gosh.
Because if they publish this list, you will know, Trish, that the people who are on that list have paid $2,500 each to be featured on this list. At least
on the most.
They get that same ridiculous email pitch that I've gotten now twice. They're badgering the crap out of me.
I got that one. I got another one. I don't even remember who it was for, but it was to be on some list for $1,000. So
maybe go for that one then.
I don't know, but then you're not the most.
Maybe go for the $1,000 list and then use the other $1,500 to buy 3 Miller High Life gingerbread kits. Boom. Christmas is sorted.
Merry Christmas. There you go. What an idea. All right. Hey, thanks for taking a break today. Thanks for watching all week. And we will see you. I don't know. We'll see you back here for sure on Monday.
Yeah, we'll have to discuss this later.
We'll definitely see you back Monday. The remainder of next week, who knows? Steve Bose just asked for it off, so I guess he might take off. All right. Catch you next week, everyone. Have a good weekend.